Transition. Hello, everybody, and welcome to SNATM, the podcast where we review some movies. Some are good, some are bad, some are birdemic. I need to say this now. This might be lower than birdemic, because the movie we're going to be reviewing today, as per young Thomas's suggestion,
Sorry.
we are going to be talking about the film Postal that was released in 2007. For those who don't know, Postal, the film, is based off of a video game franchise that was released, I think, almost 10 years prior to the release of the film. And it's a game about a dude who had a bad day and decides to wreak carnage and havoc in his city because of it. The film, in a sense, holds true to that idea, kind of. Now,
Barely.
I wanna preface this. I don't know if we're gonna be doing the standard style of SNATM on this one, where we're gonna go, beat by beat of the story and explaining what's going on and whatnot. I don't think that's what we're doing. I think we might just be trashing this fucking movie for the next, hour. Because, oh my god, you want to talk about a movie of its time that's not even of its time, that even back then was heartless and inappropriate and just a shit fucking show. Here it is. It is this goddamn movie. Tom,
it's almost like Boll decided to say, "Who can we offend with this movie?"
Yeah, who's left
Not
in the
who
world?
might we offend?
Yeah.
Let's see how many people we can offend in one fucking movie.
Oh,
That's what we got here.
Oh my god! And I want to preface this. I knew of this movie years ago when it first came out. I saw the trailer for it, which is actually, back then, was the teaser of the first 5 minutes of this film. And, even back then when I saw this, I'm like, this is inappropriate. But it surely can't be as bad as everyone says it is. And I guess I blacked this part out, but I remember up until the point where we're introduced to Dave Foley and Uncle Dave in the film. And then after that, everything goes black for me. Because I'm pretty sure I literally had an aneurysm and I stroked out and fell on the floor and then didn't wake up for 7 days to get this out of my fucking mind. Because after that happened, I started remembering everything.
Was it the full frontal nudity from Dave Foley that made your mind shut off for 7 days?
Oh my god.
And for a few minutes?
Dude, okay, alright. We're gonna get into some of the classic information here. But initially, Tom, your initial thoughts on this film?
Giant piece of fucking garbage that should never have existed in the first place.
No, tell us how you really feel, Tom.
That's about it.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah, this is... to call this a film is an insult to the art form. To call this a movie is an insult to the direct-to-DVDs or the direct-to-videos that I'm used to of my childhood, the B-movies and stuff. This is a flying piece of turd with broken glass in it that's about to hit your fucking face. Oh my god. Even then, it is a compliment to this film. All right.
Yeah.
We've already talked about the director of the film, Uwe Boll, but we'll get to that motherfucker in a second. All right. Postal, released in fucking October 18th, 2007. Was a film directed by and written, and I'm pretty sure edited, which explains a lot, by Uwe Boll, a director that you may not know, but you might recognize at least 2 of his shitty fucking movies. He has made the film Alone in the Dark, which starred Christian Slater and Tara Reid, and also, I don't know if some of you guys might remember this, you might not have been born or too young to remember this, there was also a House of the Dead movie that came out way back when Sega tried to step into the live-action world. That was a steaming pile of shit, too. He did that. And look, it doesn't stop here. He did Far Cry, In the Name of the King, Blood Rain, and his own personal fucking film franchise, which had nothing to do with games, Rampage. If you're seeing a connection here, this motherfucker takes video game franchises and then turns them into some of the shittiest films imaginable. Okay?
And I believe it's on purpose. He hates video games with a passion.
Oh my god.
Because he can't make a good fucking video game movie to save his life.
Like every fucking movie that I mentioned, all bomb or is trash or is a direct-to-DVD film. Again, Rampage being his own little special thing. This guy's got issues. Like, that's the only guy I can describe. He's got some really fucked up issues. And you see a lot of that, and what he thinks is risque humor. You see this in this film. Now, I didn't even bother to get who did the music in this film because it doesn't fucking matter. This movie is dog water. This movie is how can I describe this? This movie, the music is barely there because it sounds like someone's doing one note, two note, one note, two note on a keyboard. That kind of shit.
I'm pretty sure it was our director, Mr. Boll, that did all of the audio for that.
Fucking Christ.
He did the dubbing over everyone's voice that apparently they had to do throughout the whole fucking movie.
You can fucking hear it, dude. There are clear moments where it doesn't match. Like, okay, fun fact. Right, little behind the scenes, pre-production, post-production information, even production side. If you're on a set, we'll say that you're outside and it's very windy and you can't hear jack shit from what the actors are saying. You get them to say their lines anyways, and then you would bring them back in another day, either to the same site if possible, if it's not loud anymore, like for the wind or whatever noises, and you get them to redo the lines. Or worst case scenario, you bring them into a studio in a soundproof booth to dub over their own lines. The problem is when you do that way, it clearly sounds like they're not in the area that they are portraying to be in. Like if I'm outside, there should be like less bass in my voice. There should be more of sometimes an echo depending on the room that you're in. But when you're in a soundproof booth, that's hard to say. Soundproof booth. When you're in that, everything reverberates right back, and it is hard and raw. Like you hear with clarity. So if someone's across the fucking world and you can hear them as if they're right next to you, you've done some very bad choices in your sound editing, Mr. Uwe Boll. Okay. I just want to say one more thing about Uwe Boll before we go on for the rest. This man has so notoriously been slammed and insulted and ridiculed by movie critics around the world that at one point he set up a boxing match with one of his worst critics and beat the shit out of them because turns out that Uwe Boll is actually a Golden Gloves amateur boxer. Like the man could fight. And that's why, and there's a certain scene when he fights with the creator of Postal, he has a boxing glove on his one hand. That's the joke. But if you don't know this, it doesn't fucking matter.
No.
This film, unfortunately, has an actual cast of actors who shouldn't be in this. And I have a fun little trivia post about that. Let me pull this up for you, okay? I wasn't going to do this right away, but I have to. Let's see if I can pull this up. It was yeah. So, according to Uwe Boll, in several interviews and the DVD's audio commentary, no big agencies wanted their stars to be in the movie. So, Vern Troyer, Dave Foley, Larry Thomas, and J.K. Simmons came to the casting call against their agents' wishes because they wanted to be a part of the movie. Their fucking agents are like, please don't. Like, this could literally ruin your career. This man is a cancer. He's a blight on the film industry. You can't, please, no. JK, please don't, no! And then he left, and he's in this fucking...
He's in it for fucking 5 minutes. Why would he try to be in this stupid fucking movie?
Yeah.
Of all people.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of the actors in this film, let's go over the cast list here. And I'm going to mention the ones that kind of you see the majority of, or because they were in there and I don't know why they were in there. So you have the main lead, Zach Ward. He's a Canadian actor. He is best known, besides for Postal, to be in the film Freddy vs. Jason, who is portrayed as the brother who committed suicide in a tub, but really is Freddy who slit his wrists. Resident Evil Apocalypse, he plays a really bad Russian accent Umbrella Corp mercenary who gets killed in the film. But more importantly for me, there was a show that came out early 2000s that was called Titus. And it was a story about the dude, his wife, his brother, and his father running an auto shop together. And what was unique about the show at that time was the actor who played Titus would enter this white room and like monologue towards the camera, like breaking the fourth wall, talking to the audience right away. And Zach Ward played his brother in that show. I just wanted to mention that I really liked that show when I was younger. That kind of made me laugh when I saw that. It also stars, Dave Foley, who honestly, all you need to know is a comedic genius normally, because he comes from Kids in the Hall, one of the best Canadian-made comedy sketch shows of all time.
He was the saving grace for this movie, if there was a saving grace.
Yeah, if you could say that.
Whenever he was on screen, I was happy, because I love Dave Foley. You can put him in anything.
So you could tell that Dave Foley, well, in the movie itself, there's a lot of moments where there's clear spaces of improvisation. And out of all the actors that were there, Dave Foley was the only one who could actually properly do it, or at least sounded natural, and it made sense, and it was good. There's a moment where, unfortunately, even he couldn't save it, and is where the dude, that's the guy's name in the movie, Dude, Postal Dude. He never gets an actual name, it's just Postal Dude. And Uncle Dave Foley playing Uncle Dave, because that's how original they could be. They couldn't even give the guy a real fucking name. They had to just give his real name. Anyways, Dave and Dude are in a room plotting how to run this con, and they're both just smoking weed. And then there's like legitimately, I think about 10 to 15 seconds of them just being like, do you have something? I don't know. Hold on. Let me think. I don't have something. Do I have something? No, I don't. And that's supposed to be comedy. Like, that is supposed to make you laugh. But it is so low on the audio spectrum. And it literally felt like Uwe forgot to stop. Like, he forgot to say action and cut. Like, he said action, and then he saw a bunny down the road and got entranced by it and walked away, and forgot to tell cut to the actors, because they're sitting there being like, how long do we have to sit here? And be like, do you have an idea? No, I don't have an idea. Let me think about this. We get it. They're idiots. They can't think of things properly. Doesn't mean you have to sit there for 15 seconds and show it to us.
I think this was the secondary film crew, and Yui wasn't even there.
Oh my god, man.
We can make this film without fucking Mr. Boll here. It's not like he made a coherent plot.
Oh my god. Okay, and continuing with the roster. All right. As mentioned, Vern Troyer from Austin Powers fame also was in the movie. He is playing a character that was in the video game, which was originally played by Gary Coleman, who unfortunately decided not to reprise his role in the film as he did in the video game because he didn't want to cuss. Vern Troyer did the film, and then afterwards, reportedly, said it was one of the most dehumanizing and embarrassing things he's ever done in his life. That he was mistreated, and there were gags that were added in without his permission, where he was being carried like a child. It is disgusting, belittling, and unbelievable that they did this to this man. It was, and unfortunately, Vern Troyer has passed away a few years ago, and this is one of his film credits, and it disgusts me that Uwe Boll, that he thought that abusing a small individual was comedic. It's even if it's time. Like, this isn't like the early 90s or 80s where that shit, even back then, you would never see the stuff that you saw happen to this guy. It's just, oh my god. Yeah. The movie also, as we mentioned, somehow landed Mr. J.K. Simmons, fucking J. Jonah Jameson himself, was in this movie. Okay, how they were able to get this, I have no clue. Apparently he just wanted to be there. I don't understand. It hurts me to even think about that. If you don't know who this man is, he was in Spider-Man, as I said. He is Omni-Man in Invincible, and he was the coach from hell, the instructor, whatever you want to call him, the teacher in Whiplash. Like, the man is also, he's Jim Gordon from Batman v Superman. Or no.
Should we mention who he plays in this movie?
Go ahead.
He is the leader of the FU party.
That's how original they can be with this, right? The FU party. Like, fuck's sakes, dude.
This is what they gave J.K. Simmons in this fucking movie.
Also, fun fact with this, it's reported that J.K. Simmons, the majority of his lines in the movie were all ad-libbed.
I believe that.
Yeah. And okay, I've talked about this, and I need to bring it up now. I want to bring up the budget. Okay, this film had a budget of $15 million. Tom, have you looked at what the box office was for this film?
No.
Do you want to take a guess as to how much money this movie made?
5, if that.
So you're saying $5 million? Is that what you're going with?
Yeah, sure.
I don't know. This movie had a box office gross of $146,000.
Oh. You scared me there.
And this is something that I can't. Oh my. So most people would consider this a failure. For Mr. Uwe Boll, it's a success because for what people don't understand, and this is I'm gonna pull this from Rotten Tomatoes. All right, it's the critics' consensus. So, in an attempt at a political satire that lacks any wit or relevance, Portal is nonetheless one of Uwe Boll's more successful films, for what it's worth. So that is saying, okay, that this piece of shit film is one of his more successful films. Do you know why? This is the fact. This is the case. Do you know why? Do you know what this man does, Tom?
What?
So this dude, this individual, he gets, especially from Germany, you would get these special film grants or film insurances, these claims, that if a film did not reach a certain box office, like the equivalent of the budget or more or less, the director or the producer and all of the films will still get a huge chunk of money back from the government. Uwe Boll just so happens to be the producer and the director of the film.
So he gets all of it.
He gets so much money back even if the movie bombs. That's why he's able to continue to have a career doing this. And it's why now that a lot of the films that he used to do, like the Far Cries and Your Blood Rains and all that, he can't do those anymore because those kind of grants and insurance policies are no longer available in the countries that he used to film in.
Because they learned from it.
Right? And it got to the point where he thought that it's fine. I'll go to Kickstarter and I'll kickstart one of my movies. We'll say it was like the next Rampage film, whatever it was. It bombed so hard on Kickstarter that no one wanted this to happen. He then went on a rant on Twitter, on a video rant of some sort, blaming the fans as to why they're the reasons why he will never direct a film ever again. And like he just bashed everyone. It's like, no, yes, it is because of the fans that the movie's not gonna get made, but it's because your movies are terrible, son. And I like, it's not even the comedic. It's like maybe the other ones might be funny bad. Like he's trying to make a good film and they're bad, but he is trying to make a funny movie and it's just bad.
Yeah. I've never seen a good Uwe Boll movie.
Yeah.
There's yet to be one that I've actually enjoyed.
Yeah. And it's just I want to preface this, okay, with some of the other actors. Okay, this movie has some really good character actors in this film. One of them is Eric Avari. If you're not familiar with that name, he is the gentleman who, inside of Mr. Deeds, he's Mr. Cecil Anderson. That's one of the gentlemen who wants to take the money from Deeds or the company, whatever it is, but then kind of turns around and likes Adam Sandler's Mr. Deeds at the end.
I
But
see, yeah.
also the one that I remember him from, and I love him in this role. He just did a great job. Was in The Mummy. He was Dr. Terrence Bay. He was like the procurer or like the head. I don't know what to call him. I don't know what they're called inside of museums. Like the head curator. See, thank you. He was the head curator. He's the one who tries to burn the map so they can't find the city of the dead and all that jazz. Like he's a great actor, great character actor. And inside of this movie, because of his skin color, they made him a Afghanistan or Taliban sympathizer, and of course he owned a convenience store.
Who happens to have the area of operation for the Taliban in the back of the convenience store.
Yeah.
Just to make it a little bit more racist.
Yeah, of course.
That was the start. That was the first little glimpse, I think, of the racism in this movie.
And it doesn't stop. Okay, also, I want to talk about that scene, okay? In that scene, you see all the Taliban together inside of what I'm guessing is supposed to be just the back of a convenience store. The problem with that is it looks like a fucking soundstage because there was no money put into this. To show you how much money they wasted on this fucking film, the enemy. So there's this prop that happens in the movie, the cat silencer, where the dude takes a gun, shoves it at the cat's ass, and shoots a terrorist in the head with it. And it's a silencer. That is a gag from the game. Okay, that fucking prop cost $45,000, and it was in the shot for 2 seconds. It is considered one of the most expensive shots ever made in film for no reason.
Yeah. There's at no point did this need to have to be into the fucking movie.
Oh my god! It's just because it was in the film, and that's why. And okay, like I said, we're not the plot of the film. I'm gonna break it down right now. Dude is getting tired of the shit that he's happening in his home with his wife, who apparently, to make it funny, she's overweight, she's morbidly obese, and somehow that's funny, is cheating on him. He's had a hard life now, and he wants to join his Uncle Dave on a con of stealing a bunch of dolls called Mr. Crotchy, because that's how original they are, because that's from the game, and even in the game that wasn't original. Grab them and sell them for like double the value. That's the plot, and somehow the Taliban want to get these dolls because somehow they snuck in the bird flu inside of the dolls. They don't explain that, but then that happens when the last 30 minutes of the film, 40 minutes, there's like another hour of just nothing happening in this film. There are moments where they think it's funny to have a baby get hit by a car and they die. Why?
No reason at all.
Oh god!
Just a dude driving down the road. Mom sees the car driving up. Oh no! Let's go of the stroller, and then the car runs it over, and that's it. Nothing after that. Oh, that was a baby. Oh well.
Yeah. There's a moment where, because they have to be bad drivers, there's an elderly Asian woman who's not crossing over a light. A cop pulls out. And stereotypical, like your prototypical black man, is just slurring words, just getting super mad or whatever, but he's a cop. Pulls out of the car, goes to see if he can help her. She's explaining why she can't cross over. He then shoots her with a shotgun, point blank, for no fucking reason. Gets to the car, back to the car. His partner asks him, "Why did you do that?" He simply says, "Oh, because she called me the N-word." I'm like, that's not funny. That's not. What is... It's just...
I'm so sorry that I put you through this, Justin.
If you had to pick what you think was the most egregious moment in this film, what do you think it was?
Oh my. I don't even know where to fucking start.
I have a couple of them.
You go first. I'll keep thinking.
I think one of the, and this because it is a production and film part of the movie, when they are in Little Germany, and this is a twofer, where Uwe Boll comments about like, oh, people think that that the way that I fund my movie is through Nazi gold, and Uwe Boll's German, and his joke is it's because it's true. This is how I make my movies, is with Nazi gold. That's not the part that I'm talking about. What comes up next after that, and he's like, oh, I'm getting really horny with the crowd and the children, and I had to pause. I had to pause the film. I'm in bed, like, watching this because I just finished streaming and I needed to watch this movie for today. I'm in bed with my headphones on, and I just audibly go, after pause, I just go, oh my fucking God. And Tracy's like, what's wrong? What are you watching? I'm like, I'm like, don't worry about it. Just go back to bed. The fact that they think a pedophilia joke is funny, it's just like, I just don't understand. Then, to continue with the onslaught of torturing poor children, there's a shootout that happens. And I've always said I don't like the fact some people may not have heard this. I've never liked the fact that when there is a moment of horror or something bad happens, it's always like, and leave those kids around, the kids are always okay. You never see the kids get hurt or killed. Invincible did that in a very classy way in their season 1 episode 8 finale, where they showed that no one is safe. And they did that so expertly. You never actually saw a kid get killed, but you saw what happened, and you know there's no way for that child to survive.
Yeah. This
film decides, no, we're going to show you kids getting shot. And that part, it doesn't bother me as much as disgusting that might make me sound. The problem that I have with it is they put actual squibs on these kids, several kids. If people don't know, squibs aren't just pressurized little things that go pew. They are small explosions that are happening on you that pop, and like it hurts. It's an impact still. Stuntmen have broken ribs or have been winded, or some of them to an extreme have died. That's an extreme to that kind of stuff. They are putting these on fucking kids. Why? Because it's funny to watch them get shot. What the fuck is happening?
That's pretty much all you see get shot in that fucking scene.
Yeah.
It's hard cut to kid getting shot, hard cut to another kid getting shot, and back and forth we go. And it looked like the kids weren't even prepared with an actual role. They were just like, stand here, we're gonna hit the squib button, you fall over.
Yeah. Get ready to go. Yeah, it's there's a shot that they have where they cover over all the bodies of the kids dead, and they couldn't even get to have like a freeze frame of the kids or ask them not to breathe, because you see one of the kids stomach going and it's like, yeah, probably because the kid's terrified because he felt like his chest just collapsed. Like, oh my God. It just
add to the realism. He was still alive and panicking and in shock. Oh, that was the realism to the movie right there.
There's a picture, okay, that Tom sent me just not that long ago, just before we went live. And it's I have two thoughts of this, and I don't know how I feel or where I land on this. So we're gonna take a look at it. And it's nothing bad. Don't worry. I'm not gonna subject anyone to anything of this film that would be grotesque or gratuitous or whatever. So don't you worry about that. But I will show you this one specific picture. Let's see if I can load this up. I just thought about this as we were talking about it, so I'm gonna hurry up and see if I can find the local file. Images. I'm gonna add this on. And don't worry, you guys will be able to hear us talk. I'm not gonna make the same mistake I did last time when I did this, where there was no volume when we were doing this. Where did this get saved? I should figure out where this got saved, and then we up. Basically, it's a scene where it's near the end of the film, or it is pretty much the end of the film. I think it's safe to say, right, Tom?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much the end of the film, and there's a giant shootout that takes place. That's what it's called. That's why you actually named it. I'm like, where is this? And it makes sense. Here it is. All right, get ready for this. I want you guys to see this. And in the comments, either now or down the road when you watch this, fucking tweet at me, all right? SNATM, hashtag SSNATM ATM altogether, Postal. I want you guys to explain to me if this was meant to be, or if they fucked up and just told the man to pretend. The dude doesn't, the gentleman in the middle has no gun in his hand, and he is miming that he does. Normally, funny movies really put an exaggeration on that and really like let you focus on it. Other times, I've seen it in serious films, they've had to make their actors pretend they have guns and hope that people don't realize. This fucking piece of shit, I strongly believe they just didn't have an extra gun for this man, so they told him to just mime it. And unfortunately, because he is dead center between these two guys and his hands are right in the frame, you could see it clear as fucking day. And he doesn't stop. When his hands go down, you still see him doing the miming. Because I'm sure they told him, just pretend you have a gun because we can't give you one.
Why would you put him in the back, though?
But,
the other guy had a fucking gun. He was the only guy in the scene that didn't have it.
Yeah. Again, I would love to pretend, I would love to think that they did this. Yes, Will, spoilers. Is that buff Tom Holland in there? No, don't give him this. Don't give him this, okay? We cannot give this movie any kind of compliment. No, don't do this. Don't do this, Will. I can't stress enough how the dude in the green, I know who you're talking about. I can't stress enough how bad this movie is. There's that scene, and then there's what they call an action scene, all right? And it's the end of the film. And at the end of the film, it's a shootout where people are shooting at the dude. And, oh, by the way, he has a random love interest in there. And I want to see if I can get her name.
Reason.
Is it... So this is a again...
Jackie Toh?
Yeah, Jackie Toh, a well-known actress, okay? She has been, if I'm not mistaken, she's in Glow. Yeah, that's where I remember her. She's in Glow. She's been in a bunch of stuff. She's super fucking cool. I love her. She's a great actress, great actor. She's in here for, I think, in all honesty, a total of 10 minutes maybe of the film. And that's putting a lot of time in there for this film. Where she's like the dude, where she's had enough of the people, the idiots, ordering coffees, not knowing what to get, even though they've been there for 10 minutes. Because she's a barista in the film. And her turnaround of like them falling in love, the dude and her, it's just them looking at each other. And there's a fucking moment in this where all she knows is by what the cops are telling her is that the dude is a psychopath who has shot and gunned down everyone. She meets up with him. He just says, I'm not bad. She says, I don't believe you. They then turn around and he shoots 2 people in front of her. And then she goes, okay, I believe you now.
Because I hate people too.
I'd be more, if I was the dude, I'd be like, okay, I'm scared of you now. Like, there's something wrong with you if you're going to believe me after what just happened. Also, I just want to, one of the other very egregious things that happened in this, there's a book, all right, a book of, like a Bible that Dave Foley, Uncle Dave writes because he's running a fake cult. Because that's his easiest way for him to make money, because he's a con artist. And he takes advantage of the easily susceptible, takes their money, and also has sex with a bunch of women. There is a literal scene where a woman is going down on another woman, playing like right in the shot. And I'm sitting there like, how is this not like fucking NC-17? Like, how is this not rated X? Well, I don't understand. Whatever. All right, this came out on theaters. I just want to point that this shit came out in theaters. But anyways,
because Dave Foley was in the shot at the time.
right. And anyways, he has a disciple, which is the large gentleman that you saw in the photo we just had. Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up again. This guy right here, all right, the larger gentleman right there. And he takes the book literally, even though Dave Foley says I just wrote that for some dumb bullshit. He takes it as the actual, like it's the Bible. And in there's a verse that Dave Foley wrote for some reason where it would say that a small entertainer would be raped by 1,000 monkeys. I like that's not funny. There's nothing entertaining about that. It's disgusting. Vern Troyer, by the way, during this whole time, when the shootout in Little Germany happens, gets shoved into a suitcase and is made fun of because he has a light up dildo stick. To make fun of him, I don't understand. It's just that's the joke that they went with.
I think I just thought of my egregious one.
Okay,
it also has to do with Vern Troyer.
Please,
when he's asking to get paid,
and they give him,
he holds out his hand for some cash, and they give him gold teeth.
Yeah.
As payment.
Yeah, because Uwe Boll is
the guy who fucking made this movie.
Yeah. You
can't do that. You cannot.
For those who don't understand, Nazis back in World War II, when they would unfortunately kill thousands, millions of Jewish families, they would collect all the gold rings, gold fillings, and all that stuff, their jewelry, and that's where the term Nazi gold comes from. It is from them taking it from the people that they have killed, and either melting it down, making it their own metal, or they would just keep it as is, and that's how they would, have their money. Yeah. Uwe Boll, saying that he comes from Nazi gold, pays Vern Troyer with the gold teeth of obviously Jewish people that the Nazis have killed, and he pays him with that. It is, Will, I shit you not, man. It is heart-wrenching how bad this fucking movie is. Yeah. But yes,
even at one.
Oh, please go.
At one point, they were even talking about, everyone hates everyone. We gotta learn to love people. But we all hate the Jews.
Yeah.
You can't. What the fuck?
Yeah. And
why?
and to prove why this is okay, there's a trivia in here. According to Uwe Boll, why this joke was okay to say is about 90% of the actors who played the Taliban are Jewish, according to Uwe Boll. That's not okay. That doesn't make it okay, Uwe. You're a fucking madman. I don't care if you can box. I will say this. You make shit movies. You have no story structure. And you're just offensive for being offensive's sake. That's not entertainment, man.
Yeah.
So you're saying good thing you never watched this, Will. Yeah. Yes, I am. That's exactly what I'm telling you, Will. And okay. So to go back with the unfortunate Vern Troyer stuff, so with the whole prophecy that the end of the world will happen when a small entertainer, Vern Troyer, is raped by 1,000 monkeys, they have somehow a chamber that is maybe the size of the set that you're seeing here for me, all right? It's maybe this size. And there's somehow 1,000 monkeys in there, 1,000 chimpanzees. And they shove Vern Troyer in there, and then you literally see him getting sexually assaulted or raped by the monkeys until he dies. And that's somehow funny. Yeah. That is somehow funny. Yeah. That is somehow funny. There's only one moment in this film that kind of put a smile on my face. And it's because it's Dave Foley. It is after he finds out that the big guy's got to betray him, because in the book it says that there's a false god that walks the earth, and it's Dave Foley. So just before he goes to kill him, the big guy makes out with Dave Foley, and like as he separates, he's like, "Oh my god, I'm gay! I can't believe it. I just never realized this is why my life has been so miserable." And it's Dave Foley. Actually, like it's Dave Foley, so like he's a good actor, and he's delivering his lines, and it's like you're like, okay, where's this going? Like what's the point of this? And he's like, all right, I'm going to turn my whole life around. Like, I'm never going to do anything bad or whatever. The dude shoots him. He falls down. And he's dying. And the woman that he's been that he's been sleeping with or molesting technically the most. Molesting. And I have to point this out. Molesting. Because he thought that she was mentally handicapped. He thought that she had some kind of mental disorder. So he was taking advantage of her. She goes to him and be like, no, you're dead. And he goes and he touches her breast, and that's not the part that put a smile on my face. He looks at his nephew, who is the dude, and he goes, "Huh, I guess I'm bi." And then he dies. That's the only moment of okay. See, I'm like, all right, because you're Dave Foley, and like, yeah, like, oh, I'm gay. Oh, there's a boob. I guess I'm bi. That part, it's the only one. I'm like, okay, Dave Foley, I got it. By the way, that woman who was pretending to be mentally handicapped isn't It turns out she isn't mentally handicapped. She was pretending the whole time. Why? They don't explain why. And then her and the other woman who finds that out kill each other. It doesn't make any sense.
And to emphasize the fact that she was handicapped of some sort, they just always had shit on her face, or she was pulling gum out of her mouth, or like she always had something on her, and that was it. Like that's what makes you handicapped, apparently, to this way.
Yeah. I want to point this out. Okay, so Uwe Boll, okay, in an interview, talked about how where he found the comedy in this film was by doing this. Okay, Uwe Boll shot only 3 to 5 takes of every scene. He thought the comedy's biggest strength is in the emotion behind the acting, which cannot be maintained when there are too many takes. That is the exact opposite of filmmaking, of being a director. That is called being a lazy piece of shit. Okay?
Yeah.
Because comedy doesn't derive just from the rawest of takes. It is derived from, technically, just like anything else in the world, over time and practice and fine detailing, all right? Like, unless you're like Seth Rogen, who can just improv off the cuff, or Dave Foley, but Dave Foley himself couldn't save this film because it is such a piece of shit. You can't just have these one-off scenes. It doesn't work that way. Even when Seth Rogen or Ant-Man, I forgot his name, and Paul Rudd, all these amazing improv actors, fucking Dan Aykroyd or oh my god, Bill Murray, all these guys, okay? They still have multiple takes and they improvise with it. So it's funny, or it's with their different inflections that you might find a better scene or a better feeling for that scene. It is not just because you're fucking lazy. You do 5 takes and it's like, bro, I'm out. That's good. Let's go. Like that. Oh my god.
It explains the quality of his fucking movies, though.
Right?
It looks like everything was done in 2 takes, and that's he just said, "Fuck it, good enough."
Yeah. We can't go too much more into this film. Like I said, this is going to be a slightly shorter SNATM because this is a piece of shit film. I'm trying to think. So what we're here. I know you keep saying Dave Foley, but I keep picturing Mick Foley when you're describing things. It makes it much more pleasant. Okay, I'll like to suggest for you, Will. I'm sure you have seen it, but if you write Dave Foley, Kids in the Hall, you will see him. You will recognize him. The dude is him and everyone inside of Kids in the Hall. They were pioneers of Canadian content for comedy, especially back in the 90s. They pushed barriers, not like this, but they pushed barriers.
Literally the fucking opposite of this.
Yes.
Inclusion is what they were about. They were very part of the gay scene when it was first arriving, I guess.
Yes, that's a guess, yeah. And like cross-dressing and all that stuff, right? Like they were helping push those ideas and those boundaries across. Yeah. This is the exact opposite of that. We haven't even talked about the beginning scene yet. The beginning scene of this film is 2 terrorists hijacking an airplane and going to go crash it into something. We don't know what it is at the time. And then one is told that he gets 100 virgins for doing this. The other guy is told that he gets 99 or 90 virgins. They call Osama bin Laden, and Osama bin Laden's like, oh, well, with all the people killing themselves, like it's maybe like 20 each. And they're like, 20? Well, this isn't worth it. I'm not going to kill millions or thousands of people over this. Let's pull the fucking airplane and go to the Bahamas. People break open the plane doors, the cockpit, and then because of the passengers trying to fight off the terrorists, they crash into the World Trade buildings, the World Trade Centers, the Twin Towers. That's how the movie starts. They start with a 9/11 joke that is so tasteless and doing it just to be offensive that it sets the whole precedence of this movie, that it is just a literal garbage fire. It is a dumpster fire of bullshit.
Yep.
And everyone and thankfully the actors and actresses that were a part of this, most of them have gotten a career after this still. But there's people like, unfortunately, Zach Ward, which I swear to God, this has put a blight. Like, it is a dark note for this man, and it might be one of the reasons why you don't see him in a lot of stuff and why he's in a lot of B movies. It's just, it hurts, man. It hurts. Like, thankfully, J.K. Simmons is J.K. Simmons. Dave Foley is Dave Foley. Jackie Tone. Yeah, like thankfully these people are great actors and can surpass the bullshit that this is. And then there are some who just unfortunately didn't get that chance. It hurts. It hurts. What more could be said? The gentleman who played George W. Bush, I don't know why I went down this rabbit hole, okay? The actor who played George W. Bush literally looks like, for all of his lines, he's reading off a piece of paper. Like, it literally feels like he did not get what he was supposed to get beforehand, and he was just given his lines right there and then, and he was reading off of it at all times. But to further push this, from 2019 to 2001, do you know what character this man has played nonstop? This actor? Bush? He has played nothing but President Bush, Tom. His film credits, his filmography is nothing but, and I'm not joking, George W. Bush. And I'm going to name them all right now because there's not that many. The People of New York versus Jerry Sodowitz, he plays George W. Bush. Life or Something Like It, George Bush. George Lopez, President Bush. Malesh Anna Benneth Bedell, so I'm guessing it's a Middle Eastern film or show. George, but not spelled correctly. It's spelled George W. Bush. Postal, he plays that. Recount, he plays George. Mission Istanbul Durkar Ege Jeet Hai, plays George Walker Bush, President George Walker Bush. My Name is Khan, he plays President George W. Bush. Casino Jack, Bush. Bamboo Shark, George. Fucking Breaking of Whales, George. Room and Board, George. This man is typecasted to the extreme.
I mean, he does a good job being Bush.
Oh my god. It is.
He's just playing off his strengths, that's all.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude. I'm trying. Is there something redeeming that you could say is in this movie?
No. Nothing in my notes even says anything good.
there is a quote that is on the poster for this film, and I want to read it to you because it is a fucking lie. All right? Some comedies go on too far, others start here. Whatever. That's their tagline. But I can't see from what website it is. But they're the you know, like when they put on posters like, oh, riveting or a masterpiece or the best movie this summer, you know, they put those on posters.
Yeah.
Well, this company, this I don't know what website this is because I can't read it, but it says Live Action South Park. That is an insult.
Yeah.
To fucking South Park.
Yeah. South Park doesn't throw racism and bigotry right in your face for no absolute reason.
There's always a reason. There's always a reason.
There's a reason.
Yeah.
And they do it good.
I'm trying to think. Can you think of anything that's beneficial that is good or anything from this?
No.
Nothing. Would
Destroy
you
careers?
Right.
That's about
it. Would you recommend this film?
No.
Would you recommend it even as like a parody to make fun of?
No. Don't give this movie views anymore.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I even brought it up for this show. Don't waste your time.
What do you think? And this is the crazy part. What do you think there's going to be two scores I want you to guess for this, okay? Tom? What do you think the Rotten Tomato score was for this? The critics rating.
3%.
Okay.
Fresh.
All right. Now I want to preface this right now. Mortal Kombat Annihilation was 2%. Okay.
Oh, so
Postal is 9% fresh. Somehow critics thought this film was better than fucking Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Was that from like Confederation Monthly or something?
And it's not like the amount of reviews are staggering. It's not like, you know, Mortal Kombat Annihilation had like 135 reviews. It has 44 reviews at 2%. Postal has 46 reviews at 9%. What
makes no sense.
I would never in a million years have put Mortal Kombat Annihilation below this film. I have a lot of faults with that movie, but it is still a dumb movie that could be made fun of. This train wreck of visual and audible diarrhea does not deserve that. Now, what do you think was the... So, on Steam games, people can rate things. I bought this on Steam because it's the only platform that I could find this movie on. Okay? What do you think the Steam rating was for this film?
How does it go? Is it percent?
Out of 10. It is out of a 1 to 10 scale. Or 0 to 10.
0. Did you throw the 0 in just so that they could put that on there?
Do you want to know?
Yeah.
It got a 9 out of 10.
What?
Yeah. Tom, this movie on Steam has a 9 out of 10. I don't understand. I don't fucking stand people who...
This poor world.
And the only reason why this has that high of a review, I'm guessing it's the idiots that fucking love the game and think that this is just like the game. It might be very similar to the game, but the game is just... how do I describe this? I'm trying to find the right way to describe this. The game knew that it was a turd, and it just continued pooping. This movie thought it was gold from the source material and decided to make something out of it, and they just know.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate for that part of it.
Okay.
In the movie, when the creator of
Postal
comes out, he talks about how they turned his game into dog shit. I feel like they were self-aware. They knew what they were making. But
yes, but that
it was worse than it could have possibly been.
Also, that scene is so out of context. It makes no fucking sense in the movie, because that is the only fourth wall breaking moment in the entire film. Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense. It doesn't belong anywhere. It doesn't match the rest of the film. They just did that because they thought it'd be a funny sight gag. And Will just said it best. It's almost as if gamers aren't qualified to review movies. You're not on this one. You're not wrong. If movies, I think Will said this last night when we were talking when I finished the stream, and he was like, I told him, like, yeah, I bought this game on Steam. He's like, who just found out that Steam has movies? Seriously, did anyone else know that?
No,
it made no sense. Oh, I just want to bring this one last thing up to blend in to Little Germany when they did to steal all the crotchy dolls.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that one.
Their way to blend in was for them to wear swastika armbands and little Hitler mustaches, and somehow that made it okay. Somehow that was tongue in cheek and smart screenplay writing.
Yeah. Meanwhile, no one in Little Germany was dressed like that.
Yeah.
At all.
Like the Lederhosens would have made more sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Green hat. You'd fit in.
Yeah.
But no, we had to go with the armband and a fucking mustache.
Look, Will just wrote, it's like going to Starbucks and finding a CD and buying it and thinking it'll actually be good music. No, you know what? It's even worse than that. It's like getting those fucking those CD-ROMs you'd get in cereal boxes and expecting to get fucking Halo. But really, it's it's Balo. You know what I mean?
Hey, those used to be fucking good. You got some good games out of those cereal boxes.
Like Monopoly and shit. And Battleship.
I had Rogue Squadron.
You did not get Rogue Squadron out of a cereal box.
Not the full game, the demo. And I played it nonstop for as long as I could remember. Those used to be fucking awesome.
Fucking Will. Hey, Checksman was fantastic. It was a Doom clone, but it was fantastic. Oh my god. Okay. So, out of a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate this film, Tom?
0.
Yeah. I can't even pretend. If you were to buy, rent, or pass, what would you say for this film?
Pass.
Okay.
And if you find any copies, burn them.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be the best.
Yeah. I wish we could have done more with this film, but there wasn't. The fact that we were able to talk an hour about it, hopefully it'll teach you to not get this film. Like I it's just not worth it, guys. It really isn't. Go by how loud I've yelled and how much I've actually been disgusted in this film instead of being like laughy criticizing. This is just terrible. Tom and I were talking about what the next film was gonna be, and we were gonna see if we can make it into a post show idea. But for now, we're gonna do it here because we're at the hour mark. We have a choice. 2 films got brought up because we're continuing the idea of video game film reviews. Okay, this is the first night where both hosts hated the movie. It is. Now you guys have a choice, and we're gonna get some from the live chat, and I'm gonna also ask on Discord and Twitter, all the socials, what they want. We can either watch the movie Doom next week
with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson
and Carl Urban and Rosamund Pike, or we watch Street Fighter with Van Damme, Kylie Minogue, and fucking oh my god, I'm gonna feel Raul. Not what the fuck is his name? Raul Julia, right? So those are your 2 choices, okay? Doom the Rock. So those are your choices for next week, all right? Don't forget, if you guys want to support us, that's awesome. I couldn't even do the spiel. There is no spiel for this week for support us on Patreon. If you want to support on Patreon and go ahead and see the next SNATM, do so at patreon.com/SelectStartNetwork. This movie got me so hot and bothered, I can't even. But for next week, Street Fighter 1994 or Doom 2001, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Let us know which one you guys want. Put it in the comments. Tag us, SNATM, and what movie you want us to be. We love you. I'm Larcher. Down there's Tom.
I'm sorry.
And we'll catch you next time, guys. Bye. Holy fuck me.